Well, the world of entertainment made a lot of headlines in 2023. There were major strikes as well as blockbuster hits at the box office. As CGTN's Edis Tiansan reports, Hollywood did not go as scripted.
A quirky sci-fi movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, which centered around a Chinese immigrant family, became the most prized production at this year's Academy Awards. The victory was hailed as a historic moment for Asians and Asian Americans in the movie industry.
For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight, this is a beacon of hope and possibilities. This is proof that dreams dream big and dreams do come true.
But in May, the Writers Guild declared a strike, and about 2 months later, actors union SAG-AFTRA followed suit. The longest Hollywood strike in 36 years lasted months, triggering a complete production shutdown with thousands of layoffs and businesses closing down. A new labor contract was ratified for the writers in October and another one for the actors in early December, earning them unprecedented benefits.
No one has ever had $1 billion in gains in one contract term before, not us or any other union in this industry. It has huge improvements in a whole number of areas besides AI, like casting, self-tapes. We broke the industry minimum wage pattern. We established the streaming bonus fund for the first time. So many things that our members said they wanted and needed are addressed in this contract.
The release of this year's biggest production, Barbie, along with Oppenheimer, provided a much-needed stimulus to Hollywood. Their simultaneous debut, dubbed Barbenheimer, brought in a combined $2.3 billion at the global box office. And in the world of music, Beyoncé was in the spotlight once again with her 88th Grammy nomination and breaking the record for most Grammy Award wins at 32. In live music performance, Taylor Swift was center stage with her world tour selling out in every location, raking in millions for local economies and landing her on the cover of Time magazine as the Person of the Year. Edis Tiansan, CGTN, Hollywood.
Well, let's take a closer look at how much the entertainment industry has changed during 2023. Joining us is someone featured in that piece you just saw, Duncan Crabtree-Ireland, a national executive and chief negotiator for SAG-AFTRA, who was an integral part of the deal making in that unprecedented agreement. Duncan, thank you so much for joining our program today.
Hi, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, Duncan, you mentioned in that piece just before you some of the major wins for our union members in this SAG-AFTRA deal, that no one has ever had $1 billion in gains in one contract term before. Why do you think that is, and what was the key in making this deal happen?
Well, I think that really reflects the commitment that we made when we started the bargaining process to make sure that members were being taken care of, that the needs that had built up over the course of a number of years, including the inflation that hammered everyone during the last couple of years and the pandemic, really had to be taken care of and addressed. And ultimately they were. But of course, as you mentioned in that piece, it took not only 35 days of negotiation, but it took almost 4 months of strike time in order to make that happen, and an unprecedented dual strike by the Writers Guild and us, which hadn't happened together in over 60 years. So this was a very serious fight that took everything that we had to achieve those gains.
Well, this deal addresses several issues, including AI technology and streaming. I want you to maybe explain a little bit about that. How have these aspects impacted the industry, and why was it important for union members to have this addressed?
Yeah, no, thanks for that question. I mean, the streaming piece is something that's been building up for a decade. The streaming business has totally changed the model for how this industry works. And our members over the last decade have been squeezed harder and harder by that business model because it's fewer and fewer episodes in each season. It's longer and longer periods of time between seasons. And for actors who are trying to make a living working episode by episode, that created just a very difficult environment to just make a basic living. So the changes that we've gotten done in this contract really help shorten up that time period. They give actors more options for what they can do between seasons of series and streaming. And most importantly, they create a whole new revenue stream in the form of a streaming bonus payment that's going to help make it possible for people to really make a living. And I want to make the point, We're not talking about super mega stars here. We're not talking about people who are extremely wealthy or anything like that. We're talking about working actors who are trying to just make enough money to pay their rent, to take care of their families. That's who we're talking about. More than 80% of our members make less than $26,000 a year. So it's really important to realize these are working people issues. This is not an issue about the 1%.
That's a striking number, Duncan. I want to talk more about the economic effects of the strike. You mentioned the pay scale for some of the workers, some of the union members. What are some of the lingering effects from this months-long strike for both union members and, in the long run, for consumers?
Sure. Well, of course, there is a time, it takes time to ramp the industry back up again from this kind of strike. And I do think that the moment when we made this deal was our moment of peak leverage. It was the moment in time where this deal could be made and still protect the next season of television, protect the summer movies for next year. And so a bunch of our members are working again, but it does take time. And it affected not just actors, not just writers, but workers throughout the industry who really took a hard hit during this combined almost 6 months of strike time between the writers and us. And so, I think we're still seeing the impacts of that. But the truth is that these were battles that had to be fought, and they had to be fought now. And if for no other reason than to put the guardrails in place around artificial intelligence. And I think everyone is in agreement, certainly our members are strongly in agreement, that this could not wait. We could not wait 3 years, we could not wait 1 year to get appropriate protections in place around the implementation of AI.
And Duncan, I think you would agree with this. This deal shows the power and the influence of a strong union. And how might this set a precedent both for the TV and film industry? After all, there are other unions involved in it besides SAG and AFTRA, and also other industries. I'm thinking about like auto workers.
Absolutely. I think, people call it a hot labor summer. It's been a whole hot labor year, and I hope that continues because I think what we've done, what the writers did, what the auto workers did, what hotel and restaurant workers have done, Starbucks organizers, Amazon, all of these workers have been speaking out and standing up for themselves in ways that I think are really, really inspiring to others. And in our case, we broke a pattern. There's been this sort of pattern bargaining concept in our industry where it said, whoever negotiated the first round of increases, everyone else just had to accept that. And that first round of increases was 5%. Our members said that wasn't enough to take care of the inflation that's happened over the last few years, and we continued to fight. And we ended up within our first year, for most of our members, over an 11% combined increase in 2 steps over that first year. That breaking that pattern is so important because it means the unions coming after us can say, look, we're not tied into what any other union has negotiated. We can negotiate what our members need with the unique, concerns of specific types of workers in mind. And I think that's a really important change in our industry.
We appreciate you breaking this down for us. Duncan Crabtree-Ireland with SAG-AFTRA, thanks for your time.
Thanks so much. Great talking to you.